Hello and welcome to this short course using ChatGPT and Python to do evolutionary culturology. I'll be your tutor, Velikovsky of Newcastle. There's my Orc ID. I wasn't in Lord of the Rings, but a friend of mine was. And look me up on Orchid if you like. In this short introduction video, we'll cover three things. One, the tools you will learn in this short course. Number two, a bit about the instructor, that's me, Velikovsky of Newcastle, and the short course outline being a list of the 10 videos of the course. So moving on to number one, the tools you will learn. These are the key tools or learnings or the knowledge transfer of this short course. Number one, a new meta scientific worldview. Evolutionary culturology. Number two, how to use ChatGPT and Python to do evolutionary culturology. And in short, how to be a meta scientist using AI. So, what is evolutionary culturology? In a nutshell, it is a meta science that scientifically reduces all one, systems, and two, units of culture to their simpler scientific structure and function, the fractal whole-on parton. And there's a diagram of one there. And here's a quick skim through the contents of this course, namely a sped up snapshot of what we'll cover in the course. So this is a preview of the three key skills that come out of the course. Teaching EvCult to ChatGPT or evolutionary culturology, using Python to do an evolutionary culturology analysis of a text, say a book, and using ChatGPT to write an EvCult essay on that text. So we'll go into ChatGPT and put in some custom instructions to teach EvCult to ChatGPT. Then we can ask it questions like explain EvCult in a nutshell, and it will write a short, concise answer, teaching you everything you could want to know. You can say write an EvCult essay on a novel or a song or a video game that you specify, and it will explain that in detail. We'll also go to Kaggle and get a data set of classic literature in ASCII format, and then we unpack that and pick out one of the books in there, one of the texts from that data set from Kaggle, and we put those into a folder. We've chosen one there, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and we ask Python to analyze that. So we put in a Python script and we then use that to analyze that text, in this case Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, as a fractal whole-on parton, and it counts the units and scale levels. And then you can take that data and put it back into ChatGPT. Here's a count of the fractal whole-on partons or units on the different scale levels in the novel Frankenstein, and we can plot that as a logarithmic chart and show the line of best fit. For example, like this. This is all sped up. This is just a quick preview of what we'll be covering in the course. So there's our log chart of the units in Frankenstein. Then we put that into the EvCult Tutor GPT, and it can give us a short essay on what EvCult says about that result. Showing the three laws of fractal whole-on partons and how they work on that unit of culture. And so you've got the EvCult Tutor GPT there, and it can then write write up an essay or a paper on that you could publish in a scientific journal. So all very handy for doing research and learning. And this is just showing how to ask ChatGPT to expand that essay, analysing the plot, themes and characters in any given text that you have a text file for. And there it is, expanding that analysis out. And tables of analysis with the 3 laws of evolutionary culturology there. So that's sort of a quick snapshot of what we'll cover in the course. A little bit about me, the instructor. I'm Velikovsky of Newcastle, or Dr. J.T. Velikovsky, PhD, a PhD in Ev Cult from the Newcastle School of Creativity in Australia. I received my PhD in 2016. So there's a picture of me receiving my PhD at the Newcastle School of Creativity. And there's the cover of the Ev Cult PhD, which is also online, free, and anyone can read if they're interested in diving deeper. And here's my online show reel, sort of a quick run through here. If you go online, you can see a list of all my past productions, books, games, novels, plays, board games, video games, short stories, longer stories, feature films, other feature films, short films, more short films, plays, video games, augmented reality games, other video games, computer software I've worked on. I was the National Games Market Analyst for Australia. Novels, screenwriting textbooks, transmedia textbooks, other plays, short stories, comics, articles, various other units of culture, music albums, cartoons and comics that I've worked on, card games, board games, chess games, t-shirt design, various conferences, photography career, and career in advertising, and anyway, lots of units of culture there. From my past, volunteer, rural firefighter, etc. But in short, meta-scientist or evolutionary culturologist. So that's a bit about me and my backstory. And as I say, there's 2 textbooks on Ev Cult, but this course is a very summarized version of some of the information in those 2 textbooks. And as I say, the PhD is also online as a PDF if interested to read more. So the PhD, within that I studied cinema or movies as units of culture, and that resulted in these fractal Holon parton diagrams here showing the units and scale levels in a movie, from genres down to individual movies, acts, sequences of scenes, beats, down to pixels. So looking at the fractal Holon partons or the units that make up a film. And of course, since evolutionary culturology is a meta science, it applies to all units of culture. So that's looking at movies as units of culture. But we can also look at and study songs as units of culture using the 3 laws of fractal Holon partons from Ev Cult. And we can look at novels and all their units on all their different scale levels that compose them. They all equally obey the 3 laws of fractal Holon partons, all the units in all those different units of culture. Because in a nutshell, all domains in culture, and there are over 50,000 of them, are structured and function as fractal Holon partons. So it applies to languages, to science, to values, narratives in any media, written fiction, movies, television, games, poetry, humour, religion, music, visual art, inventions, any domain in culture. They're all composed of fractal Holon partons, scientifically speaking. And then you have a diagram there of a fractal Holon parton and another diagram of the 3 laws of fractal Holon partons, the 3 directional arrows there, up, sideways and down. And here's the Ev Cult worldview. All units in all domains are structured and function as fractal Holon partons. So from atoms and smaller down to hadrons, electrons, quarks, strings, up to people and planets and universes and even multiverses. So that's the fractal Holon parton Ev Cult worldview, a new meta scientific worldview. And all those units on all those scale levels obey the 3 laws, which is integrate upwards into a larger unit, cooperate and or compete with units on the same scale level, so cooperate and compete sideways or laterally, and command and control downwards and inwards the smaller units, the smaller fractal Holon partons, which are inside them. So the Ev Cult view in one diagram there. And this is a quick overview of some of the Ev Cult GPTs. So there's a number of these. If you go to that page on the Ev Cult weblog, you'll see these Ev Cult related GPTs. So we have the Ev Cult Tutor GPT. So when you're doing this course, you can ask that any questions. The Ev Cult PhD Explainer, that can answer any questions about the Ev Cult PhD. A Quote Explainer, which will explain quotes in terms of Ev Cult. There's one of my digital twins or digital clones. You can ask that any questions as well. Then there's the Ethicizer GPT. Anyway, a whole bunch of GPTs there that you can ask questions about Ev Cult if desired, if you need more detail. So that's all on the Ev Cult blog. And so here's an example of what the Ev Cult Tutor GPT can do. You can ask it, what is Ev Cult in a nutshell? So some example questions there. So ask it anything you want, but let's just pick that one for now. What is Ev Cult in a nutshell? And it will give you a brief explanation, and you can drill down to smaller levels of detail. So it's just giving us a little summary of Ev Cult there. So Fairly handy for any follow-up questions you might have while doing the course. Here's another question. How is EvCult a new world view? It's an interesting question. Here's the EvCult tutor's answer. So a brief summary there of the EvCult worldview. Including consilience, the unity of knowledge. And EvCult applies to all domains in science, social science, the arts, inventions, everything. So just a brief example there of what we could ask the EvCult tutor. Moving to the short course outline. So the 10 video lectures of this course, in summary, are number 1, this introduction video, you are here. Number 2, the next one is what is meta-science? In a nutshell, it's a new worldview. Summary of EvCult in a nutshell, or in 4 bullet points in video 3. Video lecture 4 has custom ChatGPT instructions, so you can teach ChatGPT the meta-science of EvCult and then ask it any questions and it will present answers in this new framework. Video 5 is using Python to do EvCult. Moving to video 6. In video 6, we have using ChatGPT to do EvCult analysis. Video 7 talks about consilience, the unity of all knowledge. Video 8 talks about past worldviews versus the new EvCult worldview. Video 9 is about using the EvCult GPTs, which we just had a brief look at. And number 10, further reading on the meta-science of EvCult if you would like to go further and deeper after doing this course. So now a quick preview of the following lesson, the next lesson coming up, video number 2. What is meta-science? Here's a diagram that explains it very simply. Down the bottom, we have the small individual sciences, so physics, chemistry, astronomy, geology, biology, psychology, sociology, anthropology. The next level up in scale are the meta-sciences, which apply to the individual sciences. For example, systems science, because all entities in all the other domains are systems, such as solar systems in astronomy or classical physics, molecules in chemistry, molecules are systems, galaxies in astronomy, galaxies are systems, geology, tectonic plates are systems, biology, organisms are biological systems, and so on and so forth. Since everything in the individual sciences is a system, a meta-science like systems science applies equally to all the individual sciences, and then EvCult goes one level above all those meta-sciences and synthesizes them, and therefore applies not just to the meta-sciences but to all the individual sciences and also the arts and humanities as well. So that's what we'll learn about in the next lesson. What is a meta-science such as EvCult? And another thing from the next lesson, video lesson 2 coming up, is what does this fractal diagram show? Those 3 arrows there, up, sideways and down. In short, it shows what everything is and how it works, with the 3 universal laws of fractal holon partons: integrate upwards, compete and cooperate laterally, and command and control downwards and inwards. So we'll get into that in the next lesson coming up. And after watching this video, if of interest, a course reading you could have a look at is the online essay by the Ethicizer AI, How to Carve All of Nature, Biology and Culture at its Natural Joints. That's just a free online essay on the FCult blog. So enjoy that, and I hope you join me for this course, these next 9 video lessons on using ChatGPT and Python to do FCult. Thanks a lot. Oh, wait, there's still more. Another thing from the next lesson is FCult in 6 sentences. So that's a snapshot of it there. We'll get into those 6 sentences in the next lesson. I think that's all for now. See you in the next lesson. Oh, and there's more. In a nutshell, if you do this course using ChatGPT and Python to do FCult, you'll not just be a scientist or a meta-scientist, you'll become a meta-scientist. So won't you join me, Velikovsky of Newcastle, for this course using ChatGPT and Python to do FCult? Thank you, and I hope to see you soon in the very next video. Bye for now.